Hello everybody, Mr. O'Neill here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this castle, at least the first part of it. Okay, so this is what it looks like in Tinkercad. This is what it could look like. There's different variations, but I'm going to teach you how to make this one. Okay, first we're going to start out with a cylinder. And as I've mentioned before in class, if you look closely at the cylinder, it's not really a cylinder. It has sides. This is actually a 20-sided shape. Since Tinkercad works with an XY axis, it does not have anything that's really 100% round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this to 64 sides, and you can see it's starting to look more like a cylinder. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my sides to 40 and 40 and the height of 40. And remember, you can also do that by holding your shift button. Okay, so if I undo all that, I can hold my shift button down and I can pull the corner until it gets to 40, and that will also adjust the height to 40 as well. But you have to make sure you are holding that shift button down. Okay, go back and do this. All right, so that's how we're going to start with this piece right here. That's going to be the base of our castle. Okay, first thing we're going to do is duplicate it. And again, you can do Control-D to duplicate, or you can hit your duplicate button right here. Drag this piece out, and we're going to turn that one into a hole, or whichever one we want can go into a hole. Okay, and what we're going to do is, since this is 40 by 40 by 40, it's the same exact size as this one, we're going to bring this down to 36. So I'm holding my shift button down on my keyboard, and I am going to lower it carefully to 36. And then I'm going to let go. Okay, I'm also going to raise it up right here, the height. I'm going to bring that up, and you'll see why later. And then since I want to keep a floor on this, I'm going to raise this off the work plane. So I'm going to go over to my black triangle and I'm going to raise it up 2 centimeters right here. Okay, I'm going to align these two. So I'm going to rotate my bed. I'm going to highlight both. I am going to hit my alignment tool, and I'm going to hit the buttons in the middle, here and here. Now I'm not going to group them yet. I'm going to leave this over on the side. So I'm going to put it over here. But I am going to duplicate one more of those cylinders. So I'm going to bring out one of these cylinders. If you want to start with a new cylinder, that's fine too, but you can simply click on this one and duplicate it. Okay, and I'm also going to duplicate this a second time. So we need 2 more cylinders for this next part. Okay, so this is the base, and we're going to use these 2 cylinders to make the balcony. When you look back at this castle, you can see the balcony is here. There are room here for the soldiers of the troops to look down to protect the castle. These little pieces right here that are holding up the balcony are called corbels. We're going to also make those. Okay, so let's first start with the balcony. So the balcony needs to be a little bit bigger than the base. So if the base is 40 by 40 by 40, we're going to make this 44. Okay, and we're going to bring the height down to 10. So we have a height of 10, and the sides are 44 by 44. Okay, so if you need to pause the video at any time to work on yours, that's fine. Okay, now the cap, these little pieces that are right here jutting out from the balcony, this little trim, this rim, okay, that's going to be this piece here. We're going to bring this down to 1. Okay, and if this is 44, we're going to make this 46. Okay, and I'm going to have to readjust that to 1. Actually, I should have done that second. Okay, so this one is 46 by 46 by 1. Okay, now since this is a height of 10, I'm going to raise this up to 10. Okay, you can see the 10 there. I am going to place this on top, and I'm going to align it because I don't know if I can do it by eye. I'm going to align it. Well, it looks like I did. Wow, I got lucky there. But normally you're going to have to align that. Okay, it somehow just went right on top. All right, now you can group it now if you need to move it around. Okay, so I'm going to group it just so I can move it. And now here's the cool part. I'm going to cut these sections out using my duplicating trick. So I'm going to pull out a clear box, and I'm going to do a length of about, I think 70 works. It doesn't have to be exactly 70. And then I'm going to do a width of, let's say, 4, because I want to make a lot of those little slits there. Okay. Oh, I turned it by mistake. Okay, let's bring that into 4. Okay, and you notice I'm using the black boxes there to pull it in. If you use the black boxes, you can adjust the width or the length without affecting the other measurement. All right, now the important thing here is I want to get this directly in the middle. So when you look down, it needs to be a perfect fraction. If you do it like this, it's not going to work. So let's use our alignment tool right here. And let's make sure that that rectangle is exactly in the middle of the circle. And it is. Okay, so now here comes our duplicating trick. Well, wait, one more step. I have to raise this off the ground, because if you see here, I still have a big chunk at the bottom. So I'm going to raise this up 4. Okay, and you can see when you look at it that it's leaving the bottom, it's just cutting the top. So I am going to hit Control D, or the duplicate button, and then I am going to rotate 22.5 degrees, which is the first turn. And then I'm going to hit Control D again, 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 and again. And it gives me this really cool design. It follows the same pattern. Now what's left to do is group it. So let's highlight this and hit group. And bam. All right, now you'll see now why I left this piece here. Okay, I'm going to bring this over. And remember, we said that this was a height of 40. So I am going to raise this up 40. Okay, that's raised up 40. I'm now going to bring this in. And of course, align it. Don't do it by eye. Hit your alignment tool. You're going to click here. You're going to click here. And then you're going to group. And you're going to see that now this circle really carves out the inside that we needed. Okay, now only one problem. Your soldiers have no place to stand. And our balcony, if we were to 3D print this, has no supports. And if this was a real structure, your balcony would fall down. Excuse me. So here's how we're going to make the corbels and the floor at the same time. We're going to bring out a cone. Okay. Now, just like the cylinder, you can adjust the sides of a cone to make it smoother. I'm going to make it 64. Now, the corbel should be the size of the balcony. And if you remember, the balcony size was 44 by 44. But we're going to keep the height at 40. Again, this cone is 44 by 44 by 40. Okay, if you need to pause the video to do that, go ahead. We're now going to flip 180 degrees. Now you can do this manually, or you can click on the arrows and type into the box 180 and hit enter, and it flips it over a complete half turn. Now, you could leave it just like this, and you would get a floor and you would get some supports around the side. But if you look back at the picture, these corbels are little pieces here, okay, and we want to make that design. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the same trick. I'm going to bring out a box. I'm going to, again, adjust the width to about 4. And I'm going to adjust the length to about maybe 70. Okay. No. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it directly in the middle of this cone. Right here and here. And you can see it's directly in the center, and that's really important. I'm going to leave that on the ground, but I'm going to raise the height. And I'm going to raise the height to right underneath the floor. Okay, I want to leave some of the floor, but I want to cut most of this off. Okay, so now, and again, the height is up to you, but I'll tell you my height right there is 38. So if it's 40 high and this is 38, that means I have a 2 centimeter or 2 millimeter floor, which is fine. All right, so click here, Control D to duplicate, turn 22.5 degrees, and then hit Control D again and again and again and again and again until you go all the way around. All Right, now I'm going to highlight these and group. And I'm left with this really cool looking shape. Now, watch what happens when I align them. I'm going to click here and here. Oh, I missed that last one. Right there. Okay, and I have my floor. I have my nice stylish corbels, and I just need to group this. Okay, and then the last step is going to be the peak, which we're also going to use a cone. And this, we've decided, should be about 25 by 25, and then the height can really be up to you. Okay, if you want to have a nice high peak, raise it up. If you want to have a low peak, that's fine too. All right, we're going to raise this up 40, because that's where the floor is. We're going to bring this over, and we are going to align it so it's right in the center. And we want to look from the top to make sure there would be space for the troops to walk around, and it looks like that would be good. So I'm going to then go and group that. Okay, so this is castle lesson number 1. And next week, we will be learning how to combine several of these. Right? Take 2 of these and put a wall in between with a door and windows. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and good luck.